Good evening, good morning, everyone. Welcome whenever you may be watching this. This is Vic from Vic's Basement Brewcast. Welcome to our event tonight, our show. We are out in Hammonton, Richard, for the first time.
Right.
We are in Hammonton at the beautiful, relaxed, country-like Chimney Rustic Brewery, and with us is Dan Borrelli, owner, brewmaster.
That'd be me.
And all around.
I actually have a pet peeve about that brewmaster term, but we'll get to that.
Okay, well, we won't call you a brew. He's not a brewmaster, okay?
I mean, you know, are any of us masters of anything? Like, I'm learning new stuff every day.
Yes, that is true.
I have a hard time calling me a master,
Well.
but you know, I do make the beer here for the most part.
Okay. All right, so we are here at Chimney Rustic. Dan, thank you for coming on the Basement Brew Show.
Thank you for having me.
Most appreciated. Of course, we are brought to you by South Jersey Beer Scene, southjerseybeerscene.com. Check out our YouTube channel, Instagram, etc., and you can catch all of our shows on there, as well as other shows like Alexa's Drinks and other programs that we are having on the channel. Filming us tonight are the immortal, genius filmmaker, Brothers Cashew. We have Johnny and Justin both here, all trying to make us look good in this place. So, Dan, beautiful place here.
Thank you.
Very beautiful place. I love it. I love the nice, relaxed atmosphere. We're sitting here on a couch. First time we've done a show, Richard, where we're sitting on a couch.
I love that.
Here, so at some point I may fall asleep.
Sure.
So if I do, make sure that you wake me up.
You do look like you need a nap.
Or I always look like I need a nap. Old guys are like that. Nice, relaxed. I said this reminds me of like an old coffee house in Vermont or something like that.
Okay.
Nice, relaxed vibe. I can sit back, have a cup of coffee, and in this place have some beers. So tell us about the origin of Chimney Rustic, where the name came from, all of that.
So we used to drink in the woods, which a lot of kids around here do. We are surrounded by pine forest, and we used to drink at a place that we called the Chimney. It was just the concrete frame of a house or a cabin, and just the chimney was left standing. We built a skate park on it. We had a mini putt course. We had a koi pond back there. Of course, we had a full bar. You need a full bar. 2 tree houses. All kinds of crazy stuff back there, and before we were legally allowed to drink, that's where we hung out every weekend. We'd have a campfire in the chimney and skateboard and hang out, and that was it. As we grew to become adults, the place kind of became into disrepair, and we don't hang out back there anymore. But we wanted to keep drinking at the chimney, so we named the brewery Chimney. Awesome. And then we have a lot of wood and metal, and I really like farmhouse styles. I really like sour and wild fermented beers, so it's all rustic stuff, so Chimney Rustic.
Awesome.
So that's where we got the name. This building is 130 years old. It used to be Abbott's Milk Distributing, and it's been several things since then. But we took it down to the bare bones. We ripped everything that was in here out and started from scratch. We wanted the original brick back. We wanted the original flooring back. We wanted it to look like it did, 120, 130 years ago. We did our best to kind of bring the building back to life, and at the same time, it kind of represents the rustic vibe that we were going for anyway. So
it really does have a vintage feel.
Yeah, and I think part of that feel is why it feels comfortable when you walk in here. Like you want to walk in, have a seat, hang out for a little bit. It doesn't feel like I don't get into the aesthetics of many places often. It's not like my thing, but I hate when you walk into any place, not just a brewery or anything, and it's just white drywall everywhere.
Right.
Like there's no character. I like the character of the old aesthetic, the natural brick, and that was really important to me, and I held out until I found a space that I could get that vibe. So,
when you wanted to open the brewery, were you thinking Hammonton, or you were just thinking that this general vicinity?
So I grew up around here, so I knew a lot of people in the town. A lot of my friends now are coming to the age where they're starting to be on committees in town. They're starting to be politicians in town. They're the cops, the other business owners. They're all people that are my age in this town coming in. I wasn't necessarily looking in Hammonton, but having so many, I guess, eyes in the area, somebody was like, yo, you're going to like that building. It was actually my friend Ryan Mayer, good dude. He was like, hey, I got a building for you. And we went and looked at it, and I was like, yeah, that'll probably work. So it was, it was more of a numbers game, I guess. Like, everyone knew I was looking for a building. I happened to know people in this town that were also involved in things. They were like, I know a place. And that's how we got this place. So, yeah.
Now, Hammonton, just as a town itself, is a really hotbed of alcohol places. You have 3 breweries, 3 excellent breweries in town.
Yes.
You have yourself, Vinyl, and 3 Threes.
Yes. Shout out to my boys Jim, Mike, and John, Sue and Tom over at Vinyl, Jim's at Vinyl, John and Mike over at 3 Threes. Love those guys.
And recently the distillery opened?
Yes, Blue Rascal. They are between us and Vinyl. So if you walk down the main road, you can hit a brewery, a distillery, and another brewery right in a row.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, like, we're so close that I actually bought a chiller from Jim at Vinyl for the tanks that are behind us here. And it was too heavy for us to lift into my truck. So we just wheeled it down the street. That's how close we are. We literally wheeled a glycol chiller down the street.
Great to be in a town like that, Richard. You know,
right?
Yeah.
Great to be in a town like that.
Yeah.
And you also have wineries right around here too.
There's a lot of wineries.
Yeah.
So going down the list, the Pelagiados is they keep winning like best winery in the state. They're literally right down the street from 3 Threes, about a mile from here. We have Tomasello, we have Sharrett, we have White Horse, which is, I believe, Winslow technically, but they're right on the other side of the border. There's Mateo Winery. There's a ton of them. There's new ones popping up all the time. I'm sorry if I missed anyone, but And then we also have the Hammonton wine, well, it's the wine and ale trail, but the epicenter of it, Valenzano's over there as well. The epicenter of it is like right at our brewery, and it's a radius. And we have flyers over there. There's a whole group of us, and it's a whole trail that you can go through wineries, breweries, and then the distillery as well. And we're all within, I think, 10 miles of here. So it's a lot.
Great atmosphere overall in the town.
Yeah.
And great atmosphere for your place. Let's talk a little bit about your brewing history.
Okay.
When did you actually decide I wanted to open a brewery?
I think short-sightedly, the first time I homebrewed, I was like, I could do this. And, I was like, yeah, let's open a brewery tomorrow. Let's go. I think a lot of homebrewers probably do that. I think I just stuck with it. I got an idea in my head and I just kind of ran with it. But my buddy Joe and my buddy Mark and I started homebrewing a long time ago. Joe got a kit for Christmas. We were like, he was very much underage at the time. But we don't care. Homebrewing, I think, if you could make it, you'd probably be able to drink it, right?
Sure.
So we made our first batch in my kitchen a long time ago. Joe didn't really stick with it. I think he found it was easier to just buy a case of Miller Lite. Mark stuck with it for a little while, but I just kind of never stopped doing it. It was always in the back of my head. I was like, hey, I like making beer. I like making new beers, and I'm just going to keep doing it. So when I graduated college, I went and got a job at a homebrew store. I was there full-time for, I think, somewhere around 4 years.
Here in New Jersey?
Yeah, Keg and Barrel in Berlin.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to Scott, my homie.
Absolutely. Hey, Scott, how you doing?
Yeah, so I worked there for a while. I was teaching lessons there for a while. I was brewing legitimately 7 days a week. Like either at home or at work, I was brewing constantly. So I got a ton of experience in a really short period of time there with the home brewing thing. And then right around when Tonewood was starting to become a thing, I actually grew up with the owners of Tonewood, Eli and Taylor. Yeah, Eli and Taylor. Taylor and I played hockey together. His dad was my coach for a little bit. But Eli came into the homebrew store and was like, yeah, I'm opening a brewery. I was like, well, I work for you now. So we did all the R&D on all the pilot batches. My full-time job was construction on the first Tonewood location. We're building a new one now, which is incredible.
Oh, in Barrington, right?
Yeah, so that was my job, working there. And Eli really taught me like the commercial side of brewing, because it's vastly different from home brewing. A lot of people think that if you can brew 5 gallons, you can brew 500. A little different process. The concepts are the same, but the process is a lot different. For the most part. So then from there, like brewing doesn't pay well. So I moved on and got myself a job selling industrial supplies, and that afforded me the ability to open this place. I made enough money I could pay off, any outstanding loans I had on, whatever, and save some money and put it into my own place. So here we are.
It just shocks me you mentioned that about Tonewood. This reminds me, Tone, in a way that it has that vintage, like, you walk in, you feel like a Cheers mentality feel.
Yeah.
Like you just walk in, you feel like you sit down, you're talking to a neighbor, you're laughing with a friend, you're just a real chilled out feel.
Yeah, it's that's kind of so. It's funny you say that because when Eli and I first started talking about Tonewood, his brewery, we had a lot of very similar ideas, and I was kind of like, motherfucker, take them all.
I mean, and this doesn't look at all like Tonewood.
No, but we had a lot of the same.
But it does remind me of that vintage feel, that worn in.
There was a lot of parallel thinking there, and
which is by the way a great thing,
Yeah, they were.
Everybody loves a good neighborhood feel.
He's an incredible, like in this brewing industry. That guy, he knows what he's doing. So all the credit to him. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him, to be honest. But yeah, we had a lot of parallel thoughts on like what a place should feel like, what a place should look like, what kind of beers you should be making. We're not. I don't think either of us would agree that something that's mostly sugar is considered a beer. We like beer flavored beer for the most part, and it's just we got along really well in that aspect. So yeah, I'm glad that we walk in and you feel comfortable at least.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about now. We're here in the brewery. Tell me a little bit about the brew house. What kind of equipment you have, and what you have going on there.
We have a 7-barrel direct fire stout system. The direct fire, it takes me 3 hours to get to a boil. So that's a nice, lovely downtime to check emails or whatever. Most breweries don't have to deal with that issue. But we make it work. So we have 30-barrel fermenters. So we have to brew 4 times to fill them. So it's 2 18-hour days in a row. My good friend Monica helps me with those days. She's over there tending the bar right now. She does the first shift. I do the second shift. 2 days in a row, we fill those tanks and crank out beers. So it's interesting. I think a lot of, especially startup breweries, they kind of work with what they got, and what we got is big tanks and small kettle. So you get by. Everyone figures it out.
Okay, I think my producer is signaling we have to take a break. Why don't we take a break right now, and a word from our guest, actually. We're going to have a little word here from Chimney Rustic, and we will be right back. Cheers.
BruYou is the app to send and receive drinks. Buying a drink with BruYou is easy. First, select a recipient, choose the location, and then pick a drink from their menu and send it out. It's easy to stay connected with the people you care about with BruYou. Whether it's a birthday or promotion, or just because, sending a drink with BruYou is great for any occasion. When someone buys you a drink, you'll receive a notification with the details, and the drink will be stored in the app until you redeem it. When you're ready to redeem a drink, follow the prompts and show the bartender the confirmation screen. Once your drink is received, close it out on the app and say thanks. Then, cheers! You just received your first drink on BruYou. Available for download on the App Store and Google Play Store.
All right, we are back here at Chimney Rustic Ales with Dan Borrelli, the owner, and not the brewmaster, the guy who brews beer here. And of course, Richard is here with me, and the brothers Cashew producing and directing very well here with us. Now, Dan, we had talked before about the community feel in Hammonton. Now, around the brewery, there's some very cool artwork here. Why don't you talk a little bit about what you do with the local artists?
So, the Hammonton Art Club, run by my buddy Don, he curates artists, I guess. And every week we have 3 artistic works that come in for display that are for sale. Usually it's Thursday through Sunday. Sometimes we're still here we're still here on Mondays, but they're for sale. We don't take a cut. We're just we sell them out of the brewery. We run them through our POS system, and we just give the money to the artist if it sells. We've actually sold a fair amount of pieces for people, which is really cool. But we appreciate the arts in town, and they're really nice. They're really nice for us because it's every time a customer comes in, there's something new going on. There's something new for them to look at, and then they're also available for purchase. So we try to keep everything under $100. Nobody's going to come in and spend $500 on a picture in a brewery, I'm sure. If they did, that'd be cool. But we're trying to set these artists up for some success here a little bit. Right. So we try and keep everything $100. Every week there's 3 new paintings or pictures or some display of art, and it's all run by the Hammonton Art Club. And it's nice it's just a cool thing. I don't know. I like art, so it works for me.
That's great. Great to be a part of the community like that and offering those opportunities. Let's circle back to the beers you got. You have, what do you have, about 10 on tap
Yeah, we
right
got
now?
10. We kicked 2 yesterday, and I was really excited for you guys to try both of those, and they're gone. But we had a saison that was Brett fermented on, and that I loved that beer.
Nice.
I'm actually sending that to Great American Beer Fest for.
Excellent.
Yeah, so,
awesome.
Yeah, we'll see if we medal there or not. But
Okay.
Yeah, and then we had what was the other one we had? Drawing a blank immediately. I had something else on that was really cool. But yeah, I have a new beer coming out this week. I have 3 next week and another one the following week. They're all new. And then I have, we're going to do a run of our, flagships again, and we're going to can those, distribute them. And then after that, we're into our Oktoberfest beers. So we're going to do 5, 6, maybe 7 unique traditional German style beers to be released for the fall.
Nice.
I don't want to get into too much of that. That's going to be like a big party around here. Just keep an eye out for that one. But that's gonna, I like a lot of sour beers. I like a wild fermented stuff. That's like kind of right up my alley. But I also really love a traditional German beer. So I know ales is in our name, but we're gonna make some lagers, like a bunch of them.
Can we circle back real quick?
Yeah.
What are your mainstays? What are your sort of?
So we have our highest selling beer right now is Ethereal. It's like a 5.2% IPA. That outsells everything by far. That used to be called Fluffy. We got a bit of a pushback from our audience there and said that joke kind of ran its course, and we should probably name it something more in line with the rest of our brands. But that was so that Ethereal is the same beer. It's selling really well for us. We have Kuna, which is our Chicha style ale. That's probably our highest selling beer in the tasting room right now.
See, there's actually nothing left of this because I drank it. I should have actually got a full side. I got a taster side because I'm being responsible. But
Smart.
This is a terrific beer. Tell us about this beer. I love it.
So Chicha is a Peruvian corn style beer. I've never had one. The only one I ever had was one that Dogfish made. And I had that several years ago. I don't quite remember too many tasting notes on it. But it's traditionally brewed by women in like stone huts in Peru. And it's all corn. It's 100% corn. Ours is not. I could not figure out how to do that logistically without destroying all my equipment. And then they also traditionally chew the corn because there's an enzyme in your spit called amylase that converts these starches in grains into sugars, and yeast eats sugar, not starch. So, these women chew the corn, spit it into a vat, it ferments, and then people drink it during active fermentation. Almost all of that was not something that I could replicate in a commercial brewery.
No, actually, I even see in your description of the beer, it does not contain any saliva.
Yeah, no, it contains no saliva, though it would be completely safe if it did because we do boil it. Yeah. But it's corn-based. It's got pink guava and grains of paradise in it because I thought those flavors played really well with it.
Very nice.
Not traditional, but the idea came from that, so it's Chicha style. It's not like Chicha. But it came out really well. Everyone seems to really love it. So
are there any other? I didn't mean to cut you off. Are there any other beers based out of corn that I can't think of any?
I don't know. I mean, this is
corn as the base malt.
Yeah.
I don't think you could do corn as the base malt. No.
I mean, we did.
Yeah.
It's not 100% corn. We had
it's not right. Yeah, I was just trying to think. Is there any other style
Well,
of
a
beer
lot
that
of
does
stuff,
that?
well, like Budweiser and stuff has corn in it.
Bud uses a lot of rice.
Yeah.
Rice, I heard it.
Yeah,
I've heard of before.
corn is more
Corn's
of a,
new for me. Yeah.
Corn is more of a Coors thing.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Corn syrup or corn sugar, which would be dextrose.
Right.
Which we, craft brewers use a ton of that as well. But
Right.
that's
But you're talking about corn.
We're talking about corn.
Real corn.
Corn.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's new for me.
Yeah. So when you're making beer, the husks of the barley play a big role in extracting the sugars from it. Corn doesn't have those husks. So that was a challenge we kind of had to overcome there, which is why it's not 100% corn.
Right.
I would have loved to do corn, but I still have to make the beer.
Right.
Now, I've never used corn in all of the beers that I've brewed.
Yeah.
That kind of create a stuck sparge at times. So,
Oh, that's the issue. Yeah.
You got to
So
use the rice hulls, create some air in between there,
When
so
you-
you can actually, get all the sugars out.
if you look at our brew sheets, everything we have stack of them from all the brews we've done. Everything is meticulously weighed and documented, except for this beer, rice hulls. The amount is fuck ton.
I've heard that unit of measurement only one other time. Jeff Bricko.
Oh, no.
In Heavy Reel, Jeff
Yeah.
uses that unit of measurement, a fuck ton.
Fuck ton. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a real unit. Yeah.
It is a unit of
Yeah,
measurement
yeah.
that you use.
Yeah. When you think it's enough, double it. Fuck ton.
That's the official measurement, boys.
It's sort of like
That's
when
it, you got it now.
Now, Dan, it's sort of like the money that you think you need when you're opening a brewery.
Right.
You need a fuck ton more than that.
Yeah, triple it. Yeah.
That's it.
It's funny, I was just telling my wife the other day, I was like, I should probably write a book. Everyone, you wouldn't be surprised. Everyone that walks in the door is like, I'd love to open a brewery someday. I'm like, how much money do you have? And they go, oh, I have this. I said, triple it.
Yeah.
Every time.
So a brewery's like a boat.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a boat. Break out another 1,000.
Yeah.
Hole in the water you throw money into. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I'm really liking the English Mile too.
Okay.
Really nice beer.
Knobbleberry. The name. So there's a YouTube channel that's from, but we just thought it sounded funny and British. So that's what we went with. But
Would you like some Knobbleberry, Richard?
Knobbleberry, sir.
I'm a big fan of this Berliner Weiss.
Yeah.
Really nice.
The pomegranate version of that was one of my that's the only homebrew recipe I carried over. I loved that beer. So that's the cranberry that you have. Pomegranate's coming back for the fall. And we're doing actually this is a fun fact. We're doing a blueberry and peach variant of that. This upcoming week we're going to brew it. So we're using local blueberries from Baronado Farms in town here, and then we have peaches coming as well. And it's going to be blueberry peach Berliner.
Oh, nice.
I gotta tell you, my little beer journey through life,
Yeah.
sour beers have led to me liking those sour fruits.
Yes.
Like I wasn't into those sort of tart things for years, and now I actually eat blueberries and blackberries.
Yeah.
I never liked them
I've
for
always
years.
loved them as a kid, and I think when I found sour beer, I was like, oh, this is what I want.
Right. Yeah. I found sour beers through wine.
I found sour beers through Monk's Cafe.
Oh, Monk's Cafe, definitely. One of the best sour beers I had was the one he made with Lost Abbey. That was 46 steps or...
Yep. Yeah, great. I think I was maybe 22, 23, and somebody was like, yo, I know you like beer. Go check this place out. Didn't know anything about it. I just started ordering bottles off the menu and had a sour. I was like, oh my God, I want that. And then I was hooked immediately.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's a crazy place.
I know. Yeah, I love that place.
Yeah.
I haven't been since the pandemic.
I don't even know that they returned open.
That's a place I wanna get out to one of these days.
Yeah.
Monk's Cafe.
I hope they return open, but I know they...
They had that Flemish sour that you could buy on shelves for a while too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
was nice.
Yep.
I think you brought that to Rob Towie's place when we recorded there one time. I think that might be the first time I met you.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Hey, look at this.
That's why I like you, Richard.
that.
See that? What's the first beer you brewed on this system?
That's a good question. I think it was our Farmhouse Grisette.
Yeah?
I'm
Wow.
like 80% sure
Dan,
it was a Grisette.
you will
Choice.
find I'm loaded with good questions.
Okay. Yeah.
At least once a show, someone says,
Once a show.
That's a good question.
You amaze me all the time. No, it's I think it was our Farmhouse Grisette. It was rustic ales. I was like, nothing more rustic than a Grisette.
Yeah.
So there's the whole debate on whether or not you should put Brett in your tanks. For me, I have a philosophy that Brett is just yeast, and if you clean properly, it shouldn't be a problem.
Right.
So the day I got my tank, I put Brett in it.
And by the way, it hasn't been a problem, right?
Hasn't been a problem.
Now tell it, because some of our viewers may not know, why is that like a danger to put that in your tank? So why do some people consider that a danger?
So Brett didn't used to be considered a yeast. I believe they've reclassified it as yeast at this point, but Brettanomyces is notorious for sticking around as a beer spoiler. It will eat far more sugar than other strains of yeast will. It will actually start eating through wood as well, which is a fun fact.
Wow.
Yeah, it'll eat the sugars in wood, which is awesome.
That's awesome.
But I mean, it's been reclassified as a yeast. I treat it just like any other yeast and just clean properly, and it hasn't been a problem. But it's horrified winemakers for the entirety of history, and beer makers use it, but they're also terrified of it. Homebrewers traditionally, if they fuck with Brett at all, they'll have their Brett stuff and then they'll have their other stuff, and they keep them in separate rooms. Like, you don't mix. But it's literally the first beer I brewed. I'm like, I'm dumping Brett in this.
one of my earlier brewer teachers, they own the brewery.
Yeah.
I talked about sours and I talked about Brett. Never put Brett near anything that you are brewing.
Yeah.
Keep it in a different building under lock and key in a radioactive lead-contained case.
It's in every one of these tanks all the time. That being said, we do send our stuff out for testing, and when we can't can Brett. The canning company that we use will not can Brett. So we send our stuff out for testing. And all our clean beers that are not Brett clean beers, they've never once come back and tested positive for Brett. So
you are proving that you can do it.
Oh, it's possible.
Yeah.
Hot water's amazing. It kills everything.
Right.
Yeah. So that's it's one of those things. But yeah, I highly encourage you to use Brett and everything. It's amazing.
I have to put it in my cereal tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Just pitch some Brett, let it sit for a couple of weeks.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'll still be able to eat the cereal in 2 weeks.
It'll probably eat the lactose in the milk.
Nothing like some fermented cereal.
Sounds great.
We're gonna go off.
That's a thing now.
We're gonna go off on a tangent.
Okay.
Not a big tangent. Okay. You are marooned on a desert island.
Yes.
You're like Tom Hanks in
Sierra
Cast
Nevada.
Away.
Pale ale.
He watched the show.
No, I'm familiar with the Desert Island beer.
Oh, okay.
Pale ale all day.
I made up that question.
Did you?
Yes. I
The
did.
Desert Island beer?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Okay. What if you were given 4 of them?
4 beers?
Yeah.
Oh, I never thought about that. Come on. Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. Probably something from Crooked Stave.
Okay.
They have a Brett like a Brett beer that used to be in an orange can that's amazing. I think it's St. Bretta maybe. Or they also have a sour rosé. It looks like a pink and silver can. One of those two would have to be on that island. I could drink that beer all day. Probably Arcuna. Beer's delicious.
Very nice. Yeah.
And then probably Yingling.
Okay. Another question for you. What music would you bring with you? Specific artist. Doesn't have to be albums.
Limp
specific
Bizkit,
artist.
Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Just kidding. Where am I?
Hey.
You never know. No, I'm sticking with it. Limp Bizkit, Taylor Swift.
Okay. Well, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. That's wonderful.
Good drummer,
Well,
Limp
as
Bizkit.
we sit here, I'm listening
John
to the
Otto.
music. It sounds like a soundtrack from the 90s.
So this is
All this emo on here.
Yeah, we have there's 5 playlists that are on our computer that people just cycle through, and I believe this is the Pop Punk Powerhouse playlist on Spotify. It's got 25 songs on it, and I've heard them about 1 billion times at this point. But it just rolls through the playlist.
I heard Jimmy Eat World. I heard Paramore. I heard
Green Day in there a little bit.
Yeah, there's some Green Day.
that there?
There's some My Chemical Romance and Pigback Sunday, and this one. There's I can't think of them all of them off the top of my head, but I think before this was the Bob Dylan playlist, so it's nice. You never know what you're getting when you come in here.
mix.
That's
Nice
a weird
mix.
juxtaposition.
Yeah.
I went and saw, I think my brother-in-law, when he was 13 or 14, to, I don't know, Electric Factory, I think it was Yellow Card was the headliner.
Okay.
Right? But one of the bands there was Tommy Two-Tone, 8675309 Jenny.
Okay.
So they were only for a couple shows subbing for somebody. I don't remember who wasn't who they were subbing for.
Yeah.
So they walk out and they go, "Hi, you have no idea who we are. We're 30 years older than any band here, and the one song you know, we're not going to open with." And they did that song last. So they did all songs nobody knew, and they're not even a punk band. They're they're garage rocky-ish, I guess, whatever. But and they played that song last, and you could see the crowd go, "Wait, gotta know this tune.
Johnny
They're
Johnny
really
and Justin, you
That's
know
funny.
that song?
There's probably one guy in that audience that lost
Jenny,
his fucking
Jenny?
mind.
There were. Yeah, there were like 20 people. that were freaking out.
867-5309.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
But they were actually really good.
All
I was
right.
shocked.
I'm sure.
My director is telling us we got to start wrapping up now. We're rolling up. So, Dan, thanks for having us here.
Thanks for coming.
Absolutely freaking awesome time. Richard, we had a great time. Thank
Always
you
do.
so much. Now, tell us, Chimney Rustic, where can people find you? How can they reach you, etc.?
We distribute statewide in New Jersey. We're in Pennsylvania as far west as State College, as far north as Scranton. Just if you don't see us in your liquor store, you don't see us in your local bar, ask for it. We'll sell it. You know, it's there. So.
How about the particular location, your social media? I know you don't handle the social media.
Yeah, I don't handle
but-
the social media. I'm not allowed on social media. My wife handles that. It's at Chimney Beer on Instagram and Facebook. We do have a Twitter. We've never posted anything. We'll work on that. But yeah, Instagram. Everything goes up on Instagram, so you'll see it.
Awesome.
Chimney Beer.
Dan, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having
All
me.
right, everyone, thank you for watching. And remember, this is Vic's Basement Brew, South Jersey Beer Scene, SouthJerseyBeerScene.com, our YouTube channel. Please make sure you check it out and subscribe. So we will see you all next time. Everyone, take care. Have a good night.